Apparently, Nick's theory, based on the expert that he cited by name, our French guy, apparently Nick's theory is that the bullet didn't even hit the spine on the way in. It entered Charlie's neck here, passed beyond his spine into the back, and bounced off of his skin, and then did a 180-degree turn, a 30-06 bullet, and was trampolined with so much speed back into Charlie's spine that it, I guess, according to the official narrative that Nick is parroting, then shattered his C2 all the way down to his C7, just obliterated his spine, and then just lodged right beneath the skin down by T1. Nick is being forced to continually respond to this over and over and over and just like make more and more mistakes because his own fans are sending him super chats being like, Nick, this is not a good look, bro. Nick, you should not, don't keep doing this, Nick. You're fucking it up, Nick.
Conspiracy theories are entering a dangerous...
Information is the oxygen of the democracy.
There's so much evidence out there that even if less than 1% is true, that would be enough to collapse the current paradigm and change the whole planet.
Well, Nick Fuentes just can't help himself. He keeps on digging his hole deeper and deeper and deeper and getting more emotional in his responses, more ad hominem in his attacks, and he started to venture into discussing the evidence in Charlie Kirk a little bit and discussing the ballistics and the skin and all sorts of other amazing topics. And I just can't help but make a video response because Nick is just perfectly teeing up a good discussion about what's really going on out here and who's really got information and who's got a whole bunch of logical fallacy, ad hominem, and generally emotional. I hesitate to use the word crashing out, but Nick kind of feels like an animal backed into a corner right now. He feels like a man that's got something to lose that is out on a limb on the wrong side of the argument. And it's very public, and we can all watch, and we're about to. And Nick, you don't have to keep doing this. You don't have to keep on just handing out gifts. You don't have to keep on serving it up on a silver platter. But if you want to keep attacking me and calling me names and stuff, I can't help but respond to the large substance of your answers, the substance of your argument. And don't worry, this one's not going to have to be 2 hours long because we already did that. We already beat that horse to death. And because Nick's points are getting more and more hollow and more easily debunked, but they do give us space for a very interesting conversation. And they give us space to address some of the experts that have conveniently flooded the zone right after I brought up a whole bunch of noise about how we literally, the first piece of evidence, the bullet, the gunshot, does not work. The gun that they say was used, the gun that links Tyler Robinson to the scene, the gun that Tyler Robinson's dad did not see a photo of when he said that that was why he knew it was his son that did the murder. That gun is not the gun. The bullet doesn't match, even though they've not shown it to us. They've not shown us the autopsy, but they've leaked enough and they've confirmed enough of their official narrative that we very well know that this is not possible. So we're going to use this opportunity to kind of laugh at Nick Fuentes' whatever you want to call it, and also address some of the other experts that have been coming out to call me names online and kind of exposing the game while they're at it. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it.
Evidence. Why not respond to it? You ask for evidence and now say you're not keeping an open mind. A lot of your fans are banned and muted in chat for disagreeing about Charlie. Not a good look. If you believe in X up to 3206, then contend with the arguments. Hess open to do a live stream.
You're an idiot. He's an idiot. And he's a small fry compared to me. I'll debate Candace Owens about it. I'm not debating him. He's an ankle biter.
Nick's scared. And it's hard to bite your ankles when I'm more than a foot taller than you, Nick. But I'll try not to be too mean here.
The only reason he did a video about me, it's so typical. I did a 1-minute clip responding.
Nick did a 1-minute clip responding. Yeah, the clip I was responding to was 8 minutes, Nick. So I don't know what clip you're referring to. But these are the types of small, not super important inconsistencies and just little lies that are adding up on Nick's side. Little little shall we say displays of the insecurity of his position, where he has to kind of fudge everything to make it seem like there's no argument for him to argue against, to make it seem like we have no position over here, like all the conspiracy theorists are crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of those going on.
He said, "Oh boy," and then he did a 2-hour video clip farming me.
Actually, Nick, clip farming is where I go back through your past and grab a whole bunch of clips of you saying things in other contexts, out of context, like the hilarious GTA clip that I defended you on because I thought that shit was funny as hell. That's clip farming. This was just me making a direct response to you asking for evidence because you don't seem to know about it. So I gave you 2 hours of evidence, but trust me, there's way more than 2 hours. That's why there's so much content about this, is because there's so much depth to how much this doesn't make sense. We could go on for hours and hours more, but I thought 2 was enough to thoroughly shit on your parade.
Fuck you, fuck him. There is no what's the evidence?
There is no evidence. Wait, what's the evidence?
Well, the bullet could never do that.
See, here we're going to get into the part where he tries to make the argument sound retarded, but he's just exposing his own lack of an argument. You can go watch my 2-hour video. You can compare it to his representation of it. It's very transparent. We have the internet, Nick. We can all watch things.
That's not evidence. 1. 2, there are many ballistics experts that disagree. JF Garaipi did a 1-hour video about it.
This part's going to be great too. We're going to respond to JF Gripey a little bit, and to Phoenix Ammunition, and to all the other experts that have just popped up conveniently to, shovel the Fed slop conveniently all of a sudden, right when there's a new resurgence of conversation about how this doesn't work.
There's a number of other ammunition sellers and other ballistics experts that...
Ammunition sellers, yeah. We know who you're talking about, Nick. It's cool. We got this. We'll take it from here. JF Gripey is this French guy. He's got to be French. He's a neurosurgeon, a brain surgeon, apparently.
All right, so we are now entering the main portion of the show.
We are now entering the main portion of the show. And he replays a bunch of my video. He makes a bunch of points. This part right here, I think is relevant and interesting. Very interesting. And the number of big accounts that have come out and reposted this video saying, this is the best argument I've seen. Yeah.
About a 10-degree angle.
That's the only way you could ever possibly imagine that there was no exit wound. And
No. My theory is that the skin played the role here, and I will prove that to you tonight.
Because all the TPUSA leakers have told us that the autopsy says that it hit. He's not kidding. His theory is that the skin stopped the bullet, the vertebrae, and then traveled down his spine and obliterated him.
Muscle structure that you would find in a human neck. This is where the bullet would have gone.
Saint Phineas says, I don't know what I'm talking about. Wait for the rest of my argument, sir. And if you're not convinced at the end of this show that it could have happened, I don't know. I will say sorry.
For it to go into the body, we have to believe it would have done 2 things. It would have had to take a hard turn in towards the center of the body and then been impressed by or stopped by these bones here, enough to get to...
No, it was stopped by the skin and bounced toward the bones. Now, as it was bounced by the skin, through the elasticity of the skin, then it didn't have its kinetic energy anymore in full, because the skin absorbs a lot of kinetic energy, throws back just a little bit, and that just a little bit was enough to just push back the bullet to go along the spine, but not too deep.
Reflected down into the...
Bro thinks that the skin is a trampoline. This surgeon thinks that the skin is a trampoline that's going to bounce back the bullet from the back of Charlie's neck with enough force to then travel back through muscle tissue, hit the bone vertebrae, shatter them, then do a right-hand turn, travel down the bone vertebrae, shatter them, all the way down to T1. That's a very powerful trampoline, Mr. Jean-Francois. You're a surgeon? You think that a bullet can come in from the front and then hit the skin at the back with so much force that it can do all that, but somehow the skin is going to make it do a 180-degree turn. I'm sorry, that is not what bullets do. Like, you really can't make this up. I thought we were going to have, like, I didn't even watch this video when it first came out because I was like, I kind of see what's going on here. And now that I'm actually watching it, it's like, holy shit, guys, this is really the best you can do. Bullet refraction is when a bullet comes into a substance like a body or like water, and it often will refract a little bit and change its direction over time and over distance. But go watch the ballistics experts. They have broken down exactly how bullet refraction works.
Refracts straight down into the T1. Yeah, that's not what a 30-06 round is going to do if it hits a human neck vertebrae. We know it's going to blow right through. But even if there was some weird refraction, bullets aren't going to refract almost 90 degrees. We've talked about that. And then keep their actual velocity to be able to do that much damage. Not really a thing. Again, so with just basic middle school math, we...
Presentation of where the shot would have hit the neck.
I think that this is roughly accurate in terms of the entry. Now, here's my claim. The skin here, given that the bullet was tumbling, the bullet was unable to pierce the skin. And I will show you this through video. I swear to you, by the end of this show tonight, I will show you the skin of Charlie Kirk creating a V-shaped reaction to the bullet. Okay? This is absolutely new. I'm the first to claim this. I've seen it on a single frame of the video. I'm telling you, the bullet tumbled, bumped in the back of Charlie Kirk's neck, on the skin, not on the vertebrae. It bumped exactly right here. So this guy is correct with his line. But what these guys have to understand, Jan, Carroll included, is that the skin then pushed the bullet back into Charlie Kirk. And you'll see it on video. I'm guaranteeing you tonight.
That is his claim. that is legitimately his claim. We have been told by TPUSA that Charlie Kirk's spine was exploded from the C2 all the way down to C7, and that the bullet was found down by T1. And so by Nick's cited expert, Jean-Francois Garriepé, and I'm not trying to make fun of his name, I just love making fun of the French language in general. It's a fun language to speak. But Jean-Francois, the neurosurgeon, is agreeing with Chris Martenson here that the path of the bullet didn't even hit the spine until after it bounced off the back skin of Charlie's neck and did a 180-degree turn and then rebounded with so much force from that skin that it exploded his spine from C2 down to C7, apparently. Well, Nick, that is quite the expert to cite. That is quite the theory to hoist up as though you know what the fuck you're talking about. It's just basic Newtonian physics. You don't even need to be a ballistics expert to understand this. I actually thought that this video would be, like, complex. I thought it would challenge my thinking. I was not expecting this at all when I turned this on this morning. Now let's talk about Phoenix Ammunition, our favorite ammunition expert. Phoenix Ammunition has been tweeting like it's his full-time job ever since he joined the fray the other day. Very convenient timing. Where are you at, Phoenix? So Phoenix Ammunition joined the fray a number of days ago, a couple days ago. Calling Candace a dumbass, calling me a dumbass, calling Valhalla VFT a dumbass, calling everyone a dumbass. Because he's an expert, because he makes bullets. Lots of bullets. And he was working on a chalkboard talk as we speak to discuss the myriad of variables involved. Yeah, we know. There's lots of variables involved. Yes. Ballistics is very complicated. I responded, you saw where Green Beret Valhalla VFT shot clean through 3/8-inch steel, shot through cow femurs wrapped thickly in meat, or where Dr. Chris Martenson did 38 tests on pork shoulders, all 38 exited. They even went through the pork shoulder, the bone, a particle board, and then one wall of a cinder block, which I showed in my last video about this. So I hope you've got some really fancy numbers on your blackboard to explain how Charlie's neck contained multiple thousand foot-pounds of force. Let's find his blackboard talk. His blackboard talk was a 40-minute video of his notebook pages. Just with math. Yeah, math is important. Math is complicated. Bullets are complicated. Yeah, that's cool. So it shouldn't be a problem since it's so possible and so likely for bullets to be stopped by human necks, literally one of the largest rounds that you make, I assume, to be stopped by human necks, that you could very easily go out and shoot some tests, and within maybe 20 rounds, you would get at least one that was stopped by something comparable at all to a human neck. Because so far, we've had experts testing .30-06 rounds on all sorts of shit way stronger than human necks, and it's blown through all of them. So he quote tweeted me, in other words, they replicated exactly none of what happened that day, which was the entire premise of my presentation. Thank you for proving my point. Thanks, buddy. We got this from here. You can go back to driving taxis again. Because they always got to throw ad hominem as though they have just discredited the factual arguments. But, have fun with it. The whole point of the tests is that no one's going to shoot another human in the living neck. Duh, dude. So we obviously can't run the test, which is obviously a part of the reason why you all are running this propaganda piece. And I'm not saying you're being paid to do it. I'm saying that it's propaganda one way or the other. And so what all of these experts have fallen back on in lieu of shooting a human in the neck is shooting at things way stronger than a human neck. Shooting at giant pork roasts that have way more dense, way more muscle, way more bone, way stronger bone. Shooting at literal steel, shooting at cow femurs, shooting at just about everything. Because obviously, if you think it through, if the bullet just keeps on going through things that are stronger than Charlie's neck, then shooting at something weaker probably going to yield some similar results, maybe even worse, right? And the best you could possibly do, short of shooting a living human on camera, is shooting a ballistic dummy, and we've got that too. So, Mr. Phoenix Ammunition Man, we're all waiting for you to take some of your highly esteemed ammunition out to the range and film some tests for us. Make some video evidence of just how likely it is. Maybe take 100 rounds of .30-06, 100 pork roasts, 100 whatever you want. You could get a whole leg of cow. You could put a whole moose carcass out there. Take 100 shots at it. Film it all. Put it online. Tell us how many of those 100 shots go through and through whatever carcass you choose to shoot at. Hell, take steel plate. Just take a giant 3/8-inch steel plate out there and see how many times your esteemed .30-06 rounds penetrate the steel plate. That'll be some information. It won't be a living human neck, obviously, but no one's going to do that. Duh. So, I clarified for Mr. Ammunition Man that this is called journalism, where we investigate claims, we look for sources, we, display the facts, we kind of tease them out, we look for more facts, we try to debunk them. Anyone can do it. Even a literal taxi driver can do it. Even an ammunition seller can do it. Anyone can do it. They just might not be very good at it. You can be the judge of that. And I offered that maybe he should do some tests like all these other experts have been doing, like Dr. Chris Martinson did. Because I don't see any tests. I just see a lot of talking. Just a lot of talking. A lot of obfuscation behind complexity and math. If your math was so great, you'd think one of these bullets would have stopped in one of these extremely strong bones, pieces of meat, steel plates, etc. But that's not what's happening. You might realize, Nick, and everyone citing Phoenix Ammunition, that Phoenix Ammunition is Justin Nazaroff, and he's appeared on the Tim Pool podcast a couple of times. You can watch clips of him. He posted a video recently. All I'm going to say about Justin Nazaroff is that he confirmed that this is his LinkedIn page, which obviously it is. He's the general manager. He's also the founder, as far as I can tell, of Phoenix Ammunition back in 2016. So he's been making bullets since 2016. Good on you, bro. And before that, he was an account manager at Century Insurance. He was an insurance guy. He was an engineer recruiter at the Bartech Group. He was a search consultant at Nationwide Executive Search. And he was a technical recruiter at Reliance One, Inc. And he went to college. He's got a college degree. So, yeah. Sorry, Phoenix, but I'm going to go with the literal Green Beret that served multiple tours of duty, that is extremely experienced in combat medicine. I'm going to go with people like Zeb Boykin, who is a literal ballistics expert. Because right now, Justin, it looks like you're shilling a narrative. It looks like you're very sure of your narrative, and it's a little weird. But let's be fair. For what it's worth, when you go to Phoenix Ammunition's Twitter profile and you scroll back through his page and his mentions of places like Israel and all that, he's been very apparently America first. He's been very critical of Israel. He's been very critical of corrupt governments as far as I can see. He's got a pretty solid Twitter profile before this outrage. I didn't do a super extensive dig, but Phoenix Ammunition is not overtly on X an Israel shill, so don't come after him for that. It makes it a little weird why he's so certain that he needs to debunk this narrative now, right? Specifically now, when this all flares back up. But hey, if you want to buy your ammo from him, you buy your ammo from him. Maybe if he's too pussy to take his rounds out to the range and film some tests and post them on the internet, maybe someone else could buy some 30-06 rounds from our boy Justin and take them out on the range and see if those bullets penetrate stuff. See if they can get stopped by anything comparable to a human neck. So, Nick, great experts, A+. Yes. Apparently, Nick's theory, based on the expert that he cited by name, our French guy, apparently Nick's theory is that the bullet didn't even hit the spine on the way in. It entered Charlie's neck here, passed beyond his spine into the back, and bounced off of his skin, and then did a 180-degree turn, a 30-06 bullet, and was trampolined with so much speed back into Charlie's spine that it, I guess, according to the official narrative that Nick is parroting, then shattered his C2 all the way down to his C7, just obliterated his spine, and then just lodged right beneath the skin down by T1. It's possible that Nick doesn't think all of that. It's possible that our French gentleman doesn't think that the spine was shattered at all. It's possible, because I didn't even care to go all the way to the end of his video, honestly, once I heard that he thought that skin was a fucking trampoline that could stop a bullet. And yeah, we know about yaw. We know that bullets can tumble. We know all of that. If this is what you want to go with, you just keep on going, bro. Christmas is coming early, I suppose. But we are being told by people directly affiliated with TPUSA, multiple, that the autopsy shows that the spine is eviscerated from C2, which is behind your fucking face. Bullet incoming from the front. C2 is behind your fucking face. So maybe the Frenchman's onto something. Maybe that's how it hit the C2, is it bounced off the back of his neck and then went upwards to the C2 and then went straight downwards down his spine and just... Yeah. This is the illustrious Nick Fuentes, folks. The illustrious Nick Fuentes. Sorry. I'm getting into attacking him back. It's just low-hanging fruit. We'll try not to pick it.
They've said the same thing. Okay. And Ian Carroll's not a ballistics expert. He goes on and says, well, some hunter shot a thing from 100 feet away.
I'm not a ballistics expert. But again, with the... No, Nick. Actually, I'm citing a whole bunch of combat veterans, ex-special forces, some hunters, some people that run ballistics expertise channels specifically, a wide variety of folks. Basically everyone. Except for this swarm of shills that are now coming out.
So that's not evidence.
Yes, it is. Look it up. Type it into your dictionary, Nick. Come on, you're smart. You speak English.
The problem is you don't understand formal logic. You don't understand...
This part is gold.
And rationality.
Let's learn about formal logic and rationality. Formal logic is a system of reasoning that evaluates arguments based on their structure, focused on the validity of the logical form rather than the content of the premises. A formal fallacy occurs when there is a flaw in the logical structure of a deductive argument, rendering it invalid, even if the premises are true. You mean sort of like when you use a straw man argument, Nick? A logical fallacy where someone misrepresents an opponent's position by distorting, exaggerating, or oversimplifying it to make it easier to attack? Kind of like that?
So for you, this kind of vague insinuation, I feel like something's off here. You read?
Yeah, you mean misrepresenting your opponent's argument to make it seem oversimplified, or just not even representing it at all? Yeah. Formal logic, Nick.
Register that as evidence. That's not evidence.
Yeah, whatever you just said was not evidence. That was you doing some weird shit.
Oh, okay. A big bullet didn't do a thing? No, okay. And you register.
Yeah, actually, physics is evidence. Ballistics is evidence. Have you ever watched a murder trial, Nick? Like, for example, the JFK assassination, which I think we're probably going to talk about here in a second.
That's an argument. That's not an argument. You need a postulate. You need a hypothesis. You need a theory, a conjecture. You have none of that.
You seem to misunderstand what's going on here, Nick. Unlike all of you, we are not saying that we know what happened. We're trying to investigate what happened. You are saying that you do know what happened. You are the one with the theory. Your theory is the official theory, the FedSlop narrative. Tyler Robinson took the shot, one shot, with his grandpappy's 30-06 rifle at about 140 yards from the roof of the Losi Center, and it struck Charlie Kirk in the neck and killed him by going into his neck. The theory may differ here, but the autopsy apparently says that it hit his spine at C2, way up here, and then deflected at a near 90-degree angle and traveled down his spine, exploding all these vertebrae down to C7, and then it lodged somewhere around T1. That is the theory. You guys are the ones with the theory. We are saying your fucking theory doesn't make sense. We don't need a theory because we're journalists and we're trying to investigate what happened. And some people are coming up with theories. I investigate many. Personally, I don't hold any of them. I don't think I know what happened. But I know you're full of shit. And I know that this is just like waking up on Christmas morning. So please do not stop. Please make this bigger video that you said you would make. Just tearing it all up. Just eviscerating this clown Uber Eats driver, Ian Carroll.
You're not even an expert in the subject. You have no expertise. There is no forensic evidence.
There is no forensic evidence. You mean like the video of it happening? You mean like all the other videos from the scene? And there's way more than that, I would presume, behind the closed doors of the investigation, of the FBI investigation, which I'm sure is totally above board. I'm sure it's all good at the FBI. Jeffrey Epstein totally killed himself, never trafficked anyone to anyone. Next thing you know, that'll be what Nick is talking about.
You have this, first of all, you're completely ignorant.
Sorry, that was a logical fallacy. I just jumped the fence to the next argument over.
Person, and then it's just this vague, oh, okay, yeah, I guess a giant bullet didn't leave an exit wound.
Yeah, you can go and watch my video for yourself and see if that's the substance of my argument, and that's how I presented it.
What you don't understand is that bullets do.
See, here's where he starts to parrot Jean-Francois's talking points. This part's great, Nick.
When a bullet enters skin,
starts talking about skin, which is like the key word that French homie keeps on saying. It's just, this is all that's been downloaded into Nick's little brain, and now when a bullet enters. Sorry, I'm not going to make fun of it. I'm not going to do it.
It can change the trajectory of a bullet. It can alter its velocity.
Yeah, when a bullet enters a substance, it can change its trajectory and velocity. Usually a very small amount, it will deflect off course and travel over time in a different direction. Bullets don't bounce off skin and go the opposite direction and retain their velocity, bro. That's not how it happens. Skin can't hold 2,000 foot-pounds of force, even if the bullet is tumbling. And I mean, maybe like there's a slight chance, a miraculous chance. But I would point out that The official narrative that you're parroting is that it was a miracle, is that there's almost no possible way that a bullet would do this. And so it's just a miracle that the bullet was stopped by his neck. The surgeon himself apparently said that. TPUSA said that.
So yeah, here you go. Fox News today. Man of Steel. Charlie Kirk's body stopped a bullet that would typically just go through everything. And it was an absolute miracle nobody else was killed. His surgeon told Turning Point USA. And another one, surgeon says Charlie Kirk's neck stopped a bullet from killing anyone else. He's like the Man of Steel. Okay, we're going to talk everything in this. We're going to talk ballistics. We're going to talk anatomy. We're going to talk physics. And just, we're going to look at the actual post Turning Point put out here in a second. I'm blown away by how stupid this is. The Man of Steel, it's a miracle. We're going with that's the explanation now. The official story now is claiming this is a miracle. There we go. To add to the FBI's story, it's a miracle. And Charlie Kirk was the Man of Steel. I'm so blown away that this is where we're at with this. I can't imagine any of you watching this are going, "Yep, sounds good." If you're calling people like me a conspiracy theorist right now for looking at this story and looking at posts like that and going, "That's total bullshit," guys, I'm sorry, but this is from top to bottom, start to finish. This entire thing has been pathetic from the FBI.
I just want to point out on the wall, Nate's medals hanging up. In case you didn't notice. Yeah.
It can change direction because skin is very elastic. And you're not a physicist, and neither am I, and you're not a ballistics.
Did you watch Nick's brain quickly go, oh, maybe you shouldn't get into this line of thinking. Maybe you shouldn't do this part. This is not going to go well. And he's like, you're not an expert, and I'm not an expert, so why are we even talking about this?
Expert, and neither am I. So for a complete amateur to go and say, big bullet didn't do this, okay. That's not...
Journalists report on things that they're not experts at all the time. And they go to experts, and they ask questions, and they cite those sources, and they present them to you. But it's easy for me to forget, Nick, that you're also not a journalist. You're a political commentator with some really interesting political aspirations, it would seem. So to expect you to be doing journalism or to understand journalism maybe is a bridge too far.
Proof of anything. And by the way, what would that even be proof of?
You don't have any evidence, and there is no evidence, and your evidence sucks. And by the way, even if there was evidence, what would that even be proof of? Just let's clear this up, Nick, in case it was too complicated. If the rifle that they say was used, the rifle that links Tyler Robinson to the scene, if the bullets that rifle fires could not possibly have made, or let's be really precise, could almost never in a million years, the smallest, tiniest fraction of a miraculous percent is the only way that rifle could have fired and made the wound that we all saw on camera, then Tyler is not linked to the scene. And it is almost certain, it is entirely certain in my mind, that this is a cover-up. And that it actually matches the pattern of political assassinations throughout time that are more often cover-ups than not. More often they're trying to blame it on a lone gunman when it clearly isn't than not. That's what this evidence would show, Nick. Duh.
What would that be proof of? So you're insinuating a 30-06 will always have an exit wound or blow up a guy's head. If it didn't, it must have been...
No, like when you shoot a moose, it might not have an exit wound, though it often does. If you were to shoot an elephant, it probably wouldn't have an exit wound. Maybe an elk, it could go through and through sometimes. And we've got these new experts putting out photos of game with 30-06s going through them. It's like, yeah, Charlie is not an elk. His neck is not an elk.
Different bullet. So what did the FBI and France and Israel do? They brought the wrong gun?
I love this part. Nick just keeps on, because here's the thing, is that Nick has such strong stances that he's elucidated so well for 10 years. It's a part of Nick's core identity, what he's based on. And he's wading into waters here where he's undermining his own credibility on everything else too. Did they bring the wrong gun? Let's listen a little more.
Seriously, what's the alternative theory? So there's a second shooter that shot him with the smaller caliber bullet, and when France planted the rifle in the Palantir Woods, they got the wrong rifle? Why did they do that?
Well, Nick, if you were familiar with the JFK assassination, you would know that that's not necessarily unheard of. Because in the JFK assassination, they planted the wrong rifle. And researchers noticed that the rifle that had been presented to the public had the strap attachments on the side of the rifle, as you can see in the color photo right there. The strap attachments are on the side. And the rifle that Lee Harvey Oswald had, the strap attachments were on the bottom. And you can also see that in the advertisement for it in the magazine where the purchase was traced to, that the strap attachments were on the bottom. They were pretty close. They were pretty close to the right rifle, but little details matter. And in this photo, you can also clearly see that in the one that he owned, and his wife also confirmed this if my memory serves, that the strap attachments were on the bottom, and it did not match the rifle that they claimed was used. And I'm sure that because Nick is based about JFK, he knows all about the magic bullet and about how there were multiple shooters and about how there's no way that the shot that we all watch on the Zapruder film came from the book depository building. Right, Nick? In fact, when you think about it, Nick, the act of getting a patsy into place is a very hard thing to achieve. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they did it. But Tyler Robinson doesn't own some advanced scoped collapsible AR platform. They can't just force him to buy one. He owns a Relic 30-06 that is an heirloom that will directly tie the rifle to Tyler. And so for whatever reason, that was the rifle that was there. Maybe they would have been wiser to fire with a 30-06 round at Charlie Kirk, but for whatever reason, they didn't want to do that, I guess, or they couldn't. I don't know. See, that's the difference between you and me, is I am not making assumptions based on things I don't know. I'll perfectly happily discuss things. I will explore theories and see what's what, but I don't know. If you ask me my concrete opinion about what really happened, I do not know. And I'm not claiming I do. I feel pretty confident about certain parts of the evidence, and I feel pretty confident about what we might not know and what we might know didn't happen. But I'm still waiting for you or any actual experts to present anything that seems credible and not absolutely bizarre and retarded.
So this is a multi-agency, multilateral conspiracy involving French intelligence, Israeli intelligence, the FBI.
You know, if Nick was based on the nuclear Dimona facility, the Dimona nuclear facility, he would actually remember how the French government and some people in South Africa and the Jewish mob in America, a whole bunch of other folks, all colluded to get Israel's nuclear facility up and running. It's not uncommon for a whole bunch of different nations and intelligence agencies and motherfuckers around the world to collude for very high level political and state operations. Duh. What are you talking about, Nick? Like, I don't know exactly what happened. We're just trying to investigate the actual evidence, as opposed to shoveling the Fed slop narrative down people's throats and calling them names and saying they're dead to you and they're retarded if they ask any questions. You would make a great journalist, Nick.
The FBI produced...
And by journalist, I mean White House correspondent.
...produced the weapon. The FBI discovered the weapon. They produced it. They released photographs of it.
Actually, Nick, they didn't. The FBI did not release photographs of the weapon, and to this day, we've never seen a photograph of the weapon. And in the charging documents that the government released, charging Tyler Robinson with this crime, in those documents, they clearly state a flaw, a lie, an untruth, that Tyler Robinson's father saw a photo of the rifle in the news and said, and then he knew that Tyler Robinson was the shooter, and that's how they then confronted him and convinced him to turn himself in. The problem with that is that the photo we are referring to of this gun, published by the New York Post, is not the rifle that Tyler Robinson owned. And that's obvious because this is a composite plastic sort of stock. This is not a World War I relic. Duh. And the New York Post clarified that this was just a stock image of a similar rifle that they used as a stand-in because the FBI has never published a photo of the actual rifle from the crime. Pretty important detail for you to know about, Nick. Pretty important detail when you read the charging documents. Pretty important detail for the whole thing. Yeah. It's kind of awkward.
In concert with the Egyptian military that deployed their shooters, there's Israeli phones there, and they got the wrong gun. They matched the wrong gun to the wrong bullet. How does that even make sense?
I guess they fucked up. How does 9/11 make sense? We know what we know about 9/11 because they fucked up. How about JFK? They fucked up. How about the USS Liberty? We only know what happened because they fucked up. Duh.
It's a 3-agency conspiracy, but they brought the wrong rifle. And how did they do that? They picked one at random?
Most of these conspiracies have some serious retards involved that seriously fuck up and leave a trail of clues lying around. That's very common.
What kind of bullet did they shoot him with? A handgun? Why didn't they?
I don't know, because they haven't told us and they won't release any information. They're actually actively suppressing information and covering everything up, and they paved over the crime scene and all this other shit. We don't know, Nick. I doubt it was a handgun because handguns are hard to aim. I'm sure you know that because I'm sure you shot a lot of guns.
Leave a handgun in the woods. It doesn't make any sense, your theory.
I don't have a theory, Nick. My theory is that your theory is fucking retarded. You're the one with the theory, Nick. You're the one pumping a theory, and it's the Kash Patel theory. I am the one poking holes in it and saying, nope, not good enough. Let's look at real evidence, please.
Which you don't even have. All you have is this, we're just asking questions.
Correct. Yes, that's what journalists do. They ask questions until a credible theory emerges. And so far, no credible theory has emerged. You are correct, Nick. You're almost there. Keep going. Maybe you'll get there.
It's so stupid. It's completely stupid.
I think he's just going to go kind of crash for a second
I'm
here.
going to have to wind up doing a video about it. And I'm
Please do, Nick. Please do. That will be a wonderful day.
Going to rip it apart, and I'm not anybody that disagreed, like, you're dead to me, straight up.
You hear that, Groypers? If you have any questions about anything that your fearless leader says, you're dead to him. Fuck you, you fucking retard. Personally, I don't think that's a great way to think or feel about other people. I'm of the mindset that you should think for yourself. And you don't have to like me or like my theories. I don't care. Do your thing, dude. Look your own shit up. Come up with your own ideas. You can even call me a Fed. You can do whatever you want. That's fine. Still good with me. I ain't stressed. Duh.
Because you're a sucker. If you fell for this, you're too stupid. We don't need you. You're a victim of the Matrix. So, a lot of your fans got banned. Not a good look. I don't want them.
Nick is being forced to continually respond to this over and over and over and just like make more and more mistakes because his own fans are sending him super chats being like, Nick, this is not a good look, bro. Nick, you should not, don't keep doing this, Nick. You're fucking it up, Nick. And he's like banning them. He's deleting chats and shit. It's awkward.
I don't want them. If you're pushing on this, I'm not like these other people where I'm.
And to clarify, I haven't banned anyone over this conversation. I think I've hardly ever banned anyone at all. I've banned a few back in the day when I was smaller on Twitter. But around this conversation, I haven't banned anyone, haven't deleted any comments, haven't done any manipulation of any conversations in my feeds or in my zone because it's all good. Talk your shit. Bring it on.
Begging people to watch my show. I don't want you. If you don't like that, don't watch it. I swear to God, go somewhere else. I shouldn't say I swear to God, but seriously, you want to be, I've said this before, go watch Numbnuts. Go watch Candace Owens. You're into the soap opera.
I think Nick should probably work on his insult game. Should probably come up with better nicknames for people. Maybe call up Trump and ask him for some advice.
Go watch that because when push comes to shove, you're going to be a liability. I don't need liabilities. I don't need idiots around me.
Don't need liabilities, eh, Nick? Maybe you should have had a more thoughtful past. But I'm not going to get into all that. I'll let other people on the internet dig into Nick Fuentes' past. So that's Nick Fuentes' most recent, I guess we'll not say crash out, we'll say response. And there's my response. That's how I feel about it. That's just a little bit of evidence to talk about it. Talk about Phoenix Ammunition. Talk about Jean-Francois. And you make up your own mind. Think for yourself. Do your own research. Look into their arguments. Maybe do some research about skin and bullets bouncing off of skin, whatever floats your boat. Think for yourself. Come to your own conclusions. And you're welcome to tune in next time, whether you love me, hate me, agree with me, disagree with me, whatever it is. Nick, please don't stop. It's greatly benefiting to me for you to continue. So selfishly, I would ask you, please don't stop. If I was your friend, but I'm being told by credible sources that I'm not your friend anymore. If I was your friend, I would probably tell you to log off and take a few deep breaths and deal with whatever's going on in your personal life because you look stressed, bro. And genuinely, this is a genuine statement from here on out. No more sarcasm. You're important and your voice is important. It's very important. And you're very smart. And I genuinely miss where you were at before, or at least where it appeared like you were at. And you have every opportunity to be a huge player in the American political conversation for good. I think, maybe. At least for genuinely you. But this does not feel like genuinely you to me. And I don't think it feels like genuinely you to a huge portion of your audience and to a huge portion of the people that have not made their mind up about you yet. And I think it's a huge mistake. And obviously you're not going to listen to me. And maybe this will even make you want to youthfully reject it, rebel, and be even more of a whatever this is. But yeah, whatever. You do you, man. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. I'd appreciate it if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, all the things that help out. And let me know in the comments if you agree with me, if you agree with Nick, if you think I'm a dumbass, if you think he's a dumbass, if you want me to deliver you a pizza, whatever it is, dog. Drop it in the comments. Give us your best. Let's give us here in the comments. You know what? In the comments, give your best roast of Ian Carroll, please. Whether you love me or hate me, just drop the best roast of Ian Carroll in the comments, and let's just have a little fun at the end of this because it's crazy out here, and let's get loose, okay? Because fuck it. Life is short. Politics is fucking crazy. And this conversation is a bunch of slop. So do your worst. I'll see you on the other side.
Conspiracy theories are entering a dangerous
Information is the oxygen of the democracy.
There's so much evidence out there that even if less than 1% is true, that would be enough to collapse the current paradigm and change the whole planet.